on to some Facebook questions from Terrence Gurai. Asks, who is the toughest power forward that you had to defend during your time?
Oh, wow. Power forward. Let's see. So, number one, the good news is I never had, well, we played against each other, I think, a total of 8 times, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 times, I think. Not maybe 9, 8 or 9 times. 9 at the most. All the other times we were either out due to injury or not getting DOJ clearance.
I imagine Coke probably kicked Tenebra's ass. What was the record? Do you know what that record was? Out of 9 times?
8-1, I think.
8-1. Ouch. But the one we beat you in a playoff game.
Playoffs. The first one.
Yes.
And we did have a bet on that we were going to say whoever lost the first one was supposed to lose the series.
Yeah, thanks for living up to that, asshole.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault. Team McClary. I blame him. Yeah, so definitely if I would to do that just every day, getting my butt kicked in practice, I would for sure say you.
Thank you.
I did have a short list of like who the toughest guys I had to guard. And I don't want to put these in any order, but I'll tell you, here are some guys that I'll go like Nelson Asaitono was probably the most talented guy. He had every move in the book, post move. He had incredible offensive talent. He had huge hands, could hit basically any shot from anywhere. I would say I guarded him when he was not even near his prime. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine what he was like in his prime.
Yeah.
There's one guy who was really difficult to defeat. When we were playing in the early years, they had the illegal defense that was really tough to guard anybody one-on-one. So at that time, Difonzo was really good because if you didn't have help with Danny he was pretty good at scoring with that wide open place. I would say Danny yeah. And then I don't know really I would say for me, one of the most, if not the most difficult guy to guard. I don't know if you consider him a power forward or not, but Danny Siegel, without a doubt, was probably my hardest challenge that I could think of all time because we played at the same time, prime years. He just had his vertical leap, the way he gets on his shot, his touch. Even though he couldn't go left most of the years you had him, it really was. He's still going to his right. His pump fakes and his first step was so good. He reminded me a lot of his first step was a lot like Carmelo Anthony's, I thought, because we play kind of the same way in the sense where they don't look like they're real quick, but you have to challenge every shot. Mm-hmm. They both get good height on their shot, and then that first step is long and far, and he'll dunk on you at any chance he can get. So those were probably some of the toughest guys I had to guard. Like I said, thankfully I didn't have to guard you too much. We were on the same team. But, all that was pretty tough. I would ask for a double most of the time if I'm guarding you.
Yeah, those guys you listed were so tough. Nelson was obviously great, one of the all-time legendary players here. I don't know. I don't want to – he was just really, really good, maybe the best player of his era, kind of like an earlier version of Danny Siegel, I would imagine, him in his prime.
Yeah.
Difonzo was a rival of mine. I went at it with him a lot, so I definitely know how difficult he was to defend. He lit me up a few times, especially early. And Danny Siegel, I will always say, I think he gave everybody fits. We had trouble guarding him. We threw a number of guys at him when we were at Ginebra. And he just to piggyback off of what you said, because he had such great touch and because the way he could jump, you had to really contest his shot. So when he would be going into his shot, you had to time your jump perfectly. You had to get a full jump in. And then he had good fakes, too. So you think you're going to contest his fadeaway. You get ready to contest his fadeaway, and next thing you know, he's stepping through you. And Yeah, he was great at drawing fouls. So,
Yeah.
you get a 6'7" guy with incredible touch, good footwork and fakes, and just a smart player. It's so tough, man.
Anybody you think I missed on that list that you would throw out there?
I mean, for me, we guarded a little bit. I guarded probably most of the same guys you guarded. For Dennis Espino, for me, always gave me a ton of trouble because he was super strong. He didn't have the beach muscles, but he was strong, and he's a little bit bigger than you think he is. Like, he's bigger than I am. Like, he's about an inch taller than me, and he was strong.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's strong and incredibly skilled. I actually think he's one of the more underrated players that I ever played against. He didn't win an MVP or a ton of championships, but he was just, if you got stuck alone guarding him, I was going to be a tough assignment. And then all the big guys, I had trouble guarding, guys that were bigger than me. Mario Aquino had all these crazy scoop shots, and he had pretty good touch too. So, yeah, man, it was a good. If you were a front court player, that era of basketball was the greatest assembly of, fours and fives probably ever in the history of the league, I would think.
Yeah, I agree. I think we had a good. I didn't really enjoy the journey as much as I should have at the time, but now thinking back, like, man, I got to, guard some of the greatest big men outside of the fours. Yeah, like Ossie, just trying to wrestle with him is a pain, and him being 6'8", at the time, anywhere from 260 to 300 pounds against me. That was just wrestling matches. Marlo, I mean, I really think I got a good, taste of both sides of how slowly the game seemed to change as we kind of got our way out of it. Great experiences.
That's right, man. You would guard Ossie, and then you would guard Kagiwa. Like, that was the thing with you. You could guard 2 through 5 pretty much and do a pretty good job. I mean, as good a job as anybody else. So that was, that's why you were an asset to the teams you were on, I think. One of the reasons why.
Yeah.